All right. The president's been patient, he says, for the better part of a year now, telling NATO members, it would be a nice idea for you to pay up. Each one is supposed to contribute at least 2% of their respective GDP, put it toward defense. Very few members seem to do that. More are, by the way, but not when it comes to Germany and Belgium and Norway and Canada. The leaders of whom he wrote a sort of a strict letter. Hey, pay up, do something. They are not receiving that criticism well, so it should make the upcoming NATO summit in Brussels very, very interesting, to put it mildly. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis says those NATO members should be paying their own freight, and they're not doing so. Very good to have you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Always a pleasure to be on your show, Neil.
A lot of people say, oh, this president, that's not the way to treat our friends. The fact of the matter is, back in 2014 and 2015, Barack Obama, maybe in a different tone, urged the same thing. It'd be nice if you guys ponied up a little more and instead of leaving the burden to us. What if they don't, though? Colonel, what happens?
Well, see, and I think that might be what distinguishes President Trump from all of his predecessors, is that he might be willing to actually take some action on it, because it can't just be, a good idea if you do what you've promised to do. Because at some point, Neil, the defense of Europe has to mean more to Europe than it does to the United States. And when you see the U.S. spending 3.5% of our GDP on defense, and you see some of them spending less than 1%, it's the classic thing. Show me your checkbook and I'll tell you what your priorities are. And right now, it doesn't look like that European nations actually value their security, thinking that the United States will do it forever.
Well, would he back away from this mutual defenses commitment? I remember, Colonel, last year that was a big issue where he left people wondering.
And I think that that's a valid question to ask, because if you're not willing to pay, even the minimum fair share that you've agreed to pay, then it's a valid question to say, do we need to continue to have NATO? And right now, that's, many people will just go crazy at the mere suggestion of that. But again, at some point, if you don't make some sort of cost to Europe, if they don't do what they've agreed to do, then you have to say that maybe that's a question that can be asked, and maybe we do need to change that.
Part of changing that also is we have troops everywhere. I mean, tens of thousands of us all across Europe. We could start taking a lot of them back, but wouldn't that be, cutting off our nose for our face? You know what I mean? Like, does that risk boomeranging on us?
No, I don't believe that it does. And the reason why is when you look at just a cold calculation of the force outlays in Europe and what Russia has, what their capabilities are, and what NATO has and what their capabilities are, even with them not spending that much, the chances that Russia would go attacking to the west because we lower our number of troops is just not borne out by the fact that they can't, because they don't have the force structure to do that. So that's one of the other questions that we have to ask ourselves and say, hey, do we really need to have this many troops over there? Does that actually prevent Russia from doing something, or do they not have the ability to do it anyway, in which case that might be money spent that's not needed?
The only thing I worry about, Colonel, and you served our country far more nobly than I read a prompter if you didn't hear, but I always worry that we have this close and getting closer relationship with Russia. We have the president going after some of our G7 allies when it comes to trade issues, now going after our NATO allies when it comes to their military commitment. And of course, this president has just met with the North Korean leader. And I disagree with those who say, you shouldn't meet with the guy. I mean, we can't pick and choose the leaders of countries that we might not flip over. But the signal here seems to be he gets along better with those who wish us ill than those who are on our side. As a guy who's protected this country, do you worry about that?
I see it a little bit different way, though. I see it as somebody who's saying, look, there's been some inequity in some characters and some capacities with our allies for a long time, and they've grown comfortable with those inequities, and I think they need to be addressed. On the other hand, it makes a lot of tactical and strategic sense to say, hey, let's take someone who might be an adversary and let's see if we can reduce the threat of that adversary, because then that increases our security. With the knowledge that we never have any equivocation at all on defending our interest, and if Russia does anything that actually crosses any of our red lines, we will not hesitate to change that. But if we can moderate their behavior with appropriate engagement, that's something that's in our benefit.
All right. Well, I feel safer if you're saying that, Colonel. Thank you very, very much. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis. Thank you.
Always my pleasure.